Rocco is going to lead out and bet here. We saw him do that earlier at this final table, where he called on the flop and before the flop and then led out on the turn.
315,000.
Well, Chris just not buying it. He thinks the guy would have raised him if he had kings. Feels like he might be just making a play.
Boy, Rocco has him where he wants him. He's making this call.
It's time for a giveaway at WPT Global. Get a free $50 added to your account. Simply follow these 3 steps. Go to WPTglobal.com/YT. Make a new account with bonus code YT73 and make a deposit. That's it. $50 will be added to your account.
Chris Moorman out in front with $5.5 million. Michael Rocco in second place. That's what they're playing for. Over $1 million in cash and this coveted title.
We started here in LA with 534 players. We're down to these 5 right now. And these are 5,000. Blinds are 20 and 40. Here we go. A couple folds around to the local Josh Neufeld. He's going to go out as well.
So the battle of the blinds here. Glenn Lafay in the small blind looks down at 5-6 offsuit.
He's a non-professional player, father of 2. He'll raise with this, makes it 90,000 to go.
Then a money manager, former equities trader. Been playing poker for 30 years though, and believes he's the best player at the table, even though he is an amateur.
Into Michael Rocco, the former chip leader. He has king deuce. He's made the call. So let's go to the flop, and it's a jack 5 deuce. Both of them hitting pairs.
Yeah, Glenn's got middle pair. Michael's got bottom pair. Glenn checks, and Michael checks right behind him.
Into the turn card, 8 of clubs. Changes nothing. And Glenn gonna bet 105,000. Michael Rocco doesn't believe him. He's gonna pay him off. Makes the call, go into the river. And the river card's another 5, 3 of a kind there for Glenn Lafay.
Well, Glenn has got 3 5s, loving it. Looks back to make sure he's got them. 150,000 is the bet. Now Michael might think he had some kind of draw in hand on the turn and then missed on the river. May pay him off with the 2 deuces. Wouldn't blame him because his opponent checked the flop. And that's exactly what he's done.
Yep, he's going to make that mistake. He is going to call, and Glenn Lafay will take this pot.
Can I see him? I turn mine face up. Can I see him?
Glenn says, I want to see the hand.
That's something that's not done very often.
No.
This really aggravates a lot of players, Vince. You lose a pot, and then somebody needles you, wants to see your hand.
But I think it's all been caused because Michael called the clock on the Englishman. So I think this whole table is turning against Michael there a little bit. That is definitely a needle. But let's go on to the next hand. Now it's Glenn has a jack 10.
Gets rid of this one. Rocco stayed pretty calm, though, when asked to see his hand. Some players would explode in that spot.
Now he's calling with an 8-5 of diamonds. He's splashing around now. Chris going out. Patrick Bruel has made a quick call. He's in the small blind. He's got jack 6 of diamonds. And now it's on Josh, and he's got queen 7 of diamonds. And he will say, let's see a flop.
All 3 players have diamonds. Here comes the flop. Incredibly, 2 diamonds come on the flop.
You gotta be kidding.
But Patrick has top pair with his flush draw.
And he checks
80,000.
He is looking to check raise, you know that.
Josh is gonna take the lead here and bet. He's betting 80,000. Rocco with the 4 flush is gonna call.
Well, Patrick with the jacks and the flush draw is going to hit it a lick, that's for sure, and he does. Makes it 275,000 to go. And Josh going to call with his flush draw. Rocco gets out of the pot. Nice exit for him there.
Yeah, it is.
He may have put one of these guys on a bigger flush draw than him and just got out, and wisely so.
Turns a deuce, pairs the board. And the Frenchman, he's an entertainer, he's an actor in France, a very big star.
Well, he sure is a big star. 6 of his albums were #1 in France.
He's betting 575.
Josh opts to get rid of his flush draw.
Show the box. Show the box.
It's on TV. Merci beaucoup.
There you go.
Vive la France.
Well, the Frenchman taking a nice pot, and as you can see, Josh Neufeld looking very disappointed. Right now, he is the short stack at the table. Plus, the price of poker is going up, so he might be looking to make a move soon. The blinds are going up to 25 and 50,000 with a $5,000 ante. Patrick this time looking down at a nothing hand. He'll fold. Josh takes a rest. Glenn Lafay not playing. Michael Rocco, the former chip leader, spinning out of control a little bit. With King 10, will make this call. And right behind him, Chris Moorman with a nothing hand, 9 deuce.
Oh, Vince, he is just out to get this guy, out to outplay him. And he is going to raise it right here with a 9 deuce offsuit. As we said, these guys have had bad blood at this final table so far. Maybe all the way getting to this final table, who knows? But one thing about it, they like to spar.
165 to go. It's been called, and here we go with the flop. It's a king 9-3. Kings for Michael Rocco, 9s for Chris Moorman.
Rocco is checked. This could spell trouble for Moorman here. He's flopped middle pair, but his opponent's flopped top pair. And Moorman reaching for betting chips.
Great bridge player, pool player.
135,000 is the bet. Will Rocco check raise? Nope, he just makes the call here.
His king's out in front, going to the turn, 4 of hearts.
A very nonchalant card.
Changes nothing.
Rocco is going to lead out and bet here. We saw him do that earlier at this final table, where he called on the flop and before the flop and then led out on the turn.
315,000.
Well, Chris just not buying it. He thinks the guy would have raised him if he had kings. Feels like he might be just making a play.
Boy, Rocco has him where he wants him. He's making this call. Chris is behind.
Oh, behind no more.
Uh-oh.
He has made 9s and deuces. Oh my gosh, a volcano is going to erupt soon here. And I think he's wearing a hat right now.
Michael Rocco is continuing to bet. 700,000.
He's got to think he's got the best hand.
Did you go for a value raise here or just call, Mike?
Well, the guy could have 3 threes. You don't know what he's got. You just call. He shows kings, and look at this. Moorman slow rolling him. 9s and deuces. And Michael Rocco is not believing what he's seeing. This guy raised it before the flop, called him on the turn, and then hit 2 pair on the river to beat him.
It's time for a giveaway at WPT Global. Get a free $50 added to your account. Simply follow these 3 steps. Go to WPTglobal.com/YT. Make a new account with bonus code YT73 and make a deposit. That's it. $50 will be added to your account.
On to the next hand. Quick fold by Patrick, and now Josh Neufeld picks up ace-10 of hearts. We'll make it 110,000 to go.
No, that's all right.
A couple folds around to Chris, who has picked up a pair of 10s again.
110.
That was his lucky hand early on when he decimated the chip leader at the time, Michael Rocco.
They flop 10s full in that hand. It's the only hand he's shown down. It's been a big hand, though. He's raised a lot of pots here. These guys just think he's aggressive. He just showed him a 9 deuce offsuit when he raised before the flop. They just don't put him on a hand.
He's raising with this, Mike. 280 to go, and now Josh has got a decision because he doesn't have that much left.
All in.
And Josh is going to go over the top. He's gone all in. And a pretty quick call by Chris Moorman with the 10s.
You can't really blame Josh. He hadn't seen all the ace queens and ace jacks we've seen. He just seen the guy raising about every pot.
Yeah, so right now the Englishman, our chip leader, Chris Moorman, out in front over the young Josh Neufeld from LA. Everyone on their feet.
Well, Chris about a 2-to-1 favorite to win this pot.
The flop is 9-4-3, 2 diamonds.
9-4-3, 2 diamonds.
Not good for Josh so far.
Well, Josh going to have to catch an ace or a deuce and a 5 to make it straight.
Here goes the turn. What will it be? A 6 of hearts, not good for Josh.
We are down to the river. Josh Neufeld must catch an ace on the river or he will be our 5th place finisher. Nothing else will do for him.
Josh going for the suck out. Let's take a peek.
The queen. So there you go. No ace on the river. That's going to do it for the 24-year-old Josh Neufeld, out tonight in 5th place.
That's right, Mike. Another one bites the dust. Josh out. Going to take home $264,000. He's over to talk to Matt Savage.
Josh, it's your first WPT cash. How did your experience go tonight?
Tonight was pretty rough. Got in a lot of tough spots, and Moorman has kind of been abusing me all tournament, so I felt I had to reshove there, and it didn't work out, unfortunately.
Do you feel like he's going to finish this?
I definitely think he's the best player at the table, and I think he'll probably take it down.
All right, congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Matt.
$264,000?
Yeah.
That'll go a long way towards starting your future.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Back to you, Lynn.
Chris Moorman well out in front. Chris from England, 8.1 million. Highly respected player. Looking to take down his first live poker championship. And a great spot to do it now with this chip lead.
Okay, and now the money manager, Glenn Lafay, has an ace-jack. And he is just going to call with the ace-jack, Michael Rocco.
He's got the 4-7 of hearts. He wants to see a flop, so he's going to call. And now around to Chris Moorman. He's in the big blind.
He's in. He's just going to call. And Patrick, content to see the flop.
So we have 4-way action here. A family pot. And here's the flop. King, king, 4.
None of them have a king.
Well, Patrick has got a pair of 4s, as does Rocco.
Chris and Patrick check. Glenn also checking. And Rocco, with the 4s, will make a stab at it. 60,000. Now Chris, with a terrible hand, is going to make this call.
He's just floating here.
Yep.
That means he's got no hand, no draw. He's calling here to try to take the pot away from Rocco on a later street. Let's see if he can do it.
And another king.
3 kings on the board.
And Chris is going to check. Michael's getting nervous, slows down, checking as well. Down to the river we go.
And the deuce comes off. It's a great card for Michael Rocco. And he knows it doesn't help Chris, so Chris knows the only way he can win this pot is to bet at it, but with the texture of this board, it'll be tough to get the pair of 4s out of here, I think.
No, nevertheless, don't tell that to Chris because he is betting.
Well, he knows he has to bet
140
to try to win this pot. Well, Vance, I don't know what Rocco was thinking about here. If the guy's got quad kings, he just got quad kings. He had a pair you'd have heard from him before. Wow! He lays down a full house, kings full of 4s. I am shocked by that, but Moorman takes down that pot, but what an unusual laydown for 140,000 when there's 500,000 in the pot, and the board's 3 kings, a 4, and a deuce.
I think Michael just outsmarted himself, just got in his mind that Chris had a king, lays it down, and he went with his gut, and that time he was incorrect. Action's on Michael again. This time he's got an attractive queen 9 of diamonds. He will make this call.
Moorman going out here. Patrick Bruel in the small blind. Cost him a half a bet to call. He does so with the king high.
The non-professional Glenn Lafay is going to raise this with just a 10-7.
Very surprised you would make a min raise there when 2 guys limped in. They're both going to call. You know that. If you make a larger raise, they may get out, or you may displace 1 player, but I think you should take a free flop or make a larger raise here. Let's see what happens. Well, flop comes queen jack 4 with 2 clubs.
Rocco hitting queens. Patrick checks. Lafay going to continue.
Bets 175,000 here.
He caught none of that flop. Michael, of course, with top pair. Just slowly going to call it. Patrick out. Glenn Lafay is a investment fund manager.
Deuce of hearts on the turn.
Deuce comes off on the turn.
And he's going to slow down now. He's going to check.
Rocco check.
Michael going to check as well.
And the river.
Michael just didn't want to get check raised here.
7 of diamonds. That gives Lafay a pair here.
And he's got a hand now. So he's going to check. He doesn't have to bluff at it. And now, after that check, Michael's certain he's got the best hand.
Yeah, he's putting in 300,000.
Vince, if you're sitting in Glenn's seat, you're thinking, this guy didn't bet the flop. Does he really have a queen or a jack? Maybe he made a draw.
Nice hand.
That's a good solid laydown.
Michael Rocco taking down that pot.
By the way, the antes are going up to 10,000. Blinds are 30 and 60. Back on Glenn. Father of 2. And he's going to fold his hand.
And Michael Rocco has 2 deuces on the button.
Getting out raising chips. Yes, he's going to make it 160 to go. And let's take a look at Chris. Has got queens.
Unbelievable.
Beautiful hand.
I think he's raised this guy just about every time he's come in a pot. Sometimes he has a hand, sometimes he doesn't. This time he does. And he's going to make it 420,000 to go.
Patrick frustrated. Can't get in cheap with his ace-3 of clubs. Folds the hand. So back on Michael Rocco. Former chip leader. He's going to call. He's investing. He hopes to get lucky. Here we are.
Most of the chips Rocco's lost have been to Moorman.
Good flop for Chris Moorman with the overpay, but he's going to check it.
And Rocco checks right behind him. Didn't want to fall into any traps, which he would have. Now a 9 comes off. Now Chris is going to reach for chips.
He'd like to have his old rival really pay him off. And right now he's betting 455. He's got to be feeling pretty good, but no more, because look at this Michael Rocco making a play, going to 1.5 million. Incredible.
Well, Chris Moorman, who 3-bet before the flop and then checked on the flop of 10 high, which was a little strange. Now he's going to make the call here.
Yeah, good solid call. Huge pot going to the river. It's an ace of hearts.
Well, neither player going to like to see that card. Fearful the other guy's got an ace in his hand. Moorman going to check.
Now, what do you do if you're Michael? It would take such boldness to continue the larceny.
Wow.
Just check it down and know that you probably beat. When you take a stab at another bluff, this just takes a lot of bravery to stick those chips in. That's exactly what he's going to do.
Wow. And he's put almost all his chips in this pot on a bluff.
2.1 million. This is a very bold bet.
If you're in Moorman's seat, this is a very tough call to make, folks. You're fearful your opponent's made something like ace-9, where he's got aces up now.
It would be the call of the year, but so difficult to make. They have to manipulate it on the turn, and now the river. It's going to work for Michael Rocco. What a move!
He outplayed him there, no doubt about it.
And he is back in a big way.
He gave the nod, the signal. I outplayed this guy.
He is loving it. And now Chris Moorman, the Englishman, top online poker player in the world. He's got Jack Deuce.
Gonna raise on the button here. 135,000 to go.
Patrick out. Now Glenn Lafay, the money manager. He's got a Jack Queen. Well, he is going to make this call.
Well, he did well with the Queen 10 a minute ago when he doubled up. That's how he does with the Queen Jack.
And the flop is a Queen 7-4.
Yeah, Chris has a flush draw. Glenn has top pair. He's got the 2 queens. He checks.
Yeah, the man with the 4 flush, the raise before the flop, will make this continuation bet. Looks like 135.
I think Glenn wants to find out where he's at. He is going to raise it to 330,000. Now, will Moorman just call or raise back with the flush draw? He's just going to call.
Yep, Moorman hoping to catch a heart.
So Glenn knows he's got something. Doesn't know what.
Not a heart, 5 of diamonds. Glenn's going to check again.
And a check raised on the flop, but Once Moorman called him, he's going to slow down a little bit.
Bet is 450,000. A quick call by Glenn Lafay.
So we're going to the river. Well, a 6 of spade comes off, so a 4-card straight on the board. And Glenn checks yet again.
Chris has none of that.
Well, Moorman knows the only possibility he has to win this pot is to bet at it.
And he is going to bet it's 730,000.
He's going to give himself a chance to win it anyway.
Scary board to make a call on. I feel like I have you here. You could be in the stratosphere right now, for all I know.
And he calls.
Okay.
Yes.
Luck, right?
And that's going to send him into space a little bit.
Thank you.
It's time for a giveaway at WPT Global. Get a free $50 added to your account. Simply follow these 3 steps. Go to WPTglobal.com/YT. Make a new account with bonus code YT73 and make a deposit. That's it. $50 will be added to your account.
The blinds are going up to 40 and 80,000. And the action's on the Frenchman Patrick, and he looks down at a little pair of 4s.
How much is it?
And he is just going to call with the 4s, hoping to get lucky. Now, Glenn out. Michael not playing. And the Englishman, Chris Moorman, has picked up ace-king.
A monster hand by Chris.
Oh, and he's going to raise it to 280. And all in by Patrick. Now the money's in. An insta-call, of course, by Chris.
Well, we've got the race situation. Patrick Bruel with the pair. Moorman with the overcards. Patrick must win this pot to stay alive in this tournament.
That is right. Patrick smiling, the crowd on its feet. Big moment for the Frenchman.
Will the singer stay in tune and stay alive? Let's see.
Here come the first 3 cards. And it's a Jack 9-3. That is good for Patrick.
2-4 still out in front.
Nothing hitting for Chris on that flop.
Patrick loves poker, loves the competition. A 4 comes off. Patrick jumps up.
Spades. Oh, no. Please.
But no, he says. He realizes the opponent has a flush draw. Must be a spade that's not the Jack or 3 of spades. But Moorman still has outs to win the pot. For a brief instant, Patrick thought this hand was over, where he doubled up. Not the case just yet.
Jack of spades is good.
Can Patrick make it happen? Yes, he does. There's a 5 of hearts. Hits on the river. No help for Chris. Patrick Bruel gonna take this pot.
Stay alive.
Patrick Bruel doubles up. We still have 4 left. Oh, and look, Vince, he's now leading the crowd in song.
He is having a great time. He's a great entertainer. He's back in action. 4 players battle for that over $1 million first place prize. What a phenomenal tournament.